It's time to change your channel. Patrick Tulloch is going to share with you today major trends identifying opportunities in the 21st century. So let me tell you a little bit about Patrick Tulloch. He worked in the corporate arena for 5 years, and then he became a successful entrepreneur for 30 years. He ran a multi-million-dollar successful business, and today he is a top mentor, coach, and trainer, and I am so fortunate to say that he has coached me into incredible success. So I'm honored and I'm grateful for you and myself to hear a motivational speaker, coach, and mentor today with Are You, or Is It Time to Change Your Channel? So Patrick, are you there?
And Donna, thanks for that great introduction. Greatly appreciated. You yourself are definitely a true testament to what can happen when you decide to make changes in your life. And folks, we're going to probably go through this here in this information in about half an hour or so. And for myself, it all began a number of years ago when I actually began my own business. 30 years in an industry where I had phenomenal success, but at the same time I was a little bit disillusioned with where I was at. I was concerned with the changing times, the legal issues, the overhead staffing, etc. So I dearly wanted to make a change. And, every time I had asked myself that question, if I wanted to be in the industry that I was, then, did I want to stay and pursue it? And the answer was no. And so I began a process to do my due diligence and investigate and see what other opportunities were out there for me. And, maybe, some of you on this call are open to the idea of being able to make a change in your life, and you're either on that path already or you're just going through the process where I was at a number of years ago. But the thing that I began to realize, and we're just going to get started here to the slide, the one thing that I've always said is the trend is your friend. And the trend can last for a day, a week, a month, or even years. And when you identify a trend, you truly identify a real opportunity. So as you know, I mean, in years gone by, there have been many identifiable trends, some of them very, very common. You can look at the fashion industry. You can look at the food industry. You can look at various business trends. And you can look at the beauty industry also. It's really important that when you as an individual are able to identify some of the major trends, then you're in a position where you can actually identify some of the major opportunities that are present. So what we're going to talk about next are the major trends that I want to discuss. The first one being education, and we're going to touch on some interesting facts related to education and how it's affecting, what's actually happening out there today and why there's such a challenge with, individuals getting jobs. And really, it's just going to really show you that there are going to be probably less and less opportunities for jobs because of certain things that are happening in the educational field. Then we're going to touch on the greatest paradigm shift. This is the greatest paradigm shift in human history. In the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be some major changes where employees will be looking at becoming entrepreneurs, and how that's going to affect either you or somebody that you may know. And, being aware of something just really allows you to prepare. It allows you to put yourself in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that are going to present themselves. And last but not least is the information technology. It's a powerful tool We have, some people on the call here today who are looking at information technology firsthand. A webinar that's providing knowledge. It's providing information that will allow individuals to take it to the next level. And information technology, once you have a clear picture of what is available to you and how you can utilize the information technology era that we're in now to position yourself in the 21st century, it's just a phenomenal experience that you're going to be able to tap. So when we take a look at education, what we're looking at is a system that was actually invented to meet the needs of industrialization. So, back in the day, individuals were put through the educational system with a purpose in mind. There was a job waiting for them at the end of their period of study, and that job was going to provide them with, the income and the opportunity of developing a lifestyle and being able to retire and be very comfortable. But the system was really based on certain subjects that were at the top of the list. So an example is maths and languages. Anywhere in the world that you go, you'll find the consistency is in math and the languages area. There is really no consistency in another area. Like the arts and the creative aspects of education were actually put down at the bottom of the list, because as an individual, you were directed into an area where there was work. It wasn't based on the fact that you liked that particular area because there wasn't going to be any work there. But unfortunately, that was a big mistake. You see, the system, again, it was predicted on academic ability. So it was designed in the eyes of the system. So those individuals who felt that, you needed to focus in a specific area. And, it worked for a number of years. It worked for a number of years, and individuals obviously have been very comfortable. The system has provided for them. But you see, what's going to be happening in the next 30 years, more and more people will be graduating through the educational system since the beginning of history. And that has and is going to have a huge impact on the results, as you will see through this presentation. And this is going to happen as a result of the huge population explosion, demography, when we talk about population, and also technology and the transformational effect on work. So when we talk about academic inflation, what you're talking about is years ago you could actually go to school. Your parents always said, go to school, get a good job, and you'll be able to, retire and live comfortably ever after. So people who had a BA were at the high end of the totem pole. And then it became a little bit more competitive, a little bit more challenging, where you needed to go now to get an MA. And then it's a PhD. So when you have this inflation, you have all these people now entering into the workforce with degrees. What's happening is there's a devaluement that is occurring in the system. In other words, the degrees are not worth anything. The employers are able to pay you not what you're worth, but what they feel they want to be able to pay you. Not only that, you're going to find that more and more individuals are going to be looking at one particular job, and the competition is going to be fierce. So you have to be able to set yourself apart from the rest of the crowd, and there are ways that you can do that. Before we move on, I just want to share a quick story with you about a lady by the name of Gillian Lynn. and some of you may know her. And this really goes back, to a time in the 1930s when Jillian actually was in school, but she never really paid attention in school. She was always fidgeting. She was always moving about. And so the school contacted her mother and shared that they felt that there was a learning disability, a problem with Jillian, and that she needed to come in. So Jillian's mother went in and spoke with the counselors, and Jillian's mother decided that she wanted to go and see a specialist, and she took Jillian to see a specialist. So again, there was something called ADD or ADHD, something that we're familiar with now. Jillian probably would have been put on some type of medication. But what happened is when Jillian's mother took her to see the specialist, and he sat down and he spoke with Jillian's mother and Jillian, he wanted now to be able to speak to Jillian's mother separately outside of the room. So before leaving the room, he turned on some music for Jillian to listen to. And when they left the room, he said to Jillian's mother, "I want you to watch Jillian. I want you to watch her." And they looked through the window and watched Jillian as she got off of the chair she was sitting on, and Jillian began to dance. She began to move to the rhythm. And the counselor or consultant said to Jillian's mother that there's nothing wrong with Jillian. Jillian is a dancer. Jillian's a dancer. So you see, the creative aspects in somebody's life is very significant, because if you don't know Jillian Lynn, you will know her because she has written Cats. She's also written Phantom of the Opera. She is a top choreographer. She's a multi-millionaire. She's connected with Andrew Lloyd Webber, obviously, to write some of these plays. So here's an individual that could have been directed or sent in a direction that she should never have gone, and it turned out a very positive experience for her. So again, as we go through, you'll just see how education is a good thing in some respects from the social aspects. Education allows individuals to learn how to collect data, collect information, etc., and process information. So there's some great things there. It's always good to have an educational base or a foundation, but at the same time, it's very important that you can not limit yourself and be able to expand your potential by incorporating other thoughts and other actions into the educational process. So move forward here, we're going to touch on the greatest paradigm shift. And again, we talk about the industrial age, and this age obviously is over now after 80 years. 80 years where individuals have been taken care of. Good people could make above average pay for average work, and that has unfortunately ended. The middle classes now are being eroded, and the employee business model is definitely crashing. What I personally believe is happening is that there is going to be a performance-based model that will allow individuals, again, based on the quality of work that they're providing, will determine the kind of income that they're going to be able to develop. So average work will not be acceptable anymore. And I think as a result of that, you're going to find that the shift is on, and the shift allows you, obviously, as an individual to do what you want. And I firmly believe that there's tremendous opportunities, especially in the next 5 to 10 years, where more and more individuals will become entrepreneurs. Individuals will be required to look at creating an additional stream of income through developing their own business, branding themselves, marketing themselves, etc. And you're going to want to be unique. You're going to want to be different. You're going to want to be able to separate yourself from the rest of the crowd. In this era that we are in today, you as an individual have the ability to do anything that you want. And it's just one of those situations where it's going to be mandatory. And I'll give you an example. Is that one of the companies that we're familiar with is Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble is one of those Fortune 100 companies. They do approximately $100 billion worth of business a year. Now, usually a company will take 10% of their revenue, their sales revenue, to apply it to advertising, 10%, which is about $10 billion. Imagine a $10 billion advertising budget. Well, what happened recently is Procter & Gamble felt that their bottom line was not good enough. They weren't making enough money. So what they proceeded to do is they proceeded to lay off 1,600 of their employees. 1,600 employees globally from the marketing departments so that they could improve their bottom line. And one of their reasonings is that they were able to look at other ways of being able to advertise and promote their business. And what were they going to use? Well, they were going to use Facebook. Facebook, which obviously is reaching millions and millions of people around the world, and you'll see some of the figures that I'm going to share with you here shortly. So, you as an individual, if you want to publish a book, you can become a self-publisher. You want to write music and produce music, you can self-promote music through the internet. You don't need to be a part of a company or major company as it was years ago. So times are changing, and you just need to be aware of changes. This is one of the areas that I really have a lot of fun with, the information technology area. And I'm just going to share some real facts here with you, and you'll be able to see my point as I add to each one individually. But the top 10 in-demand jobs in 2010 did not exist in 2004. So in a period of 6 years, there's been this massive explosion of new demand in jobs throughout the global economy in just 6 years alone. Now, we are currently preparing students for jobs that don't yet exist, using technologies that have not been invented. Imagine using technologies that have not been invented yet. Now, this is really powerful. This really gives you an indication of where we're going. The U.S. Department of Labor estimates that today's learner will have 10 to 14 jobs by the age of 38. Imagine 10 to 14 jobs by the age of 38. So, you got a choice. You can, work for somebody and pay, be paid you're actually paid what you're not worth. You're worth more than what they're paying you. So it's either that, or you can obviously look at leveraging yourself and creating your own income. This is a little fun statement here. 1 out of 8 couples that married last year met online. So, those numbers are going to increase if that's something that you're interested in. But the internet is a place where people are able to meet locally, globally, and we've only just scratched the surface of where that's concerned. This is a perfect example. The #1 ranked country in broadband internet penetration is Bermuda. Of all places, Bermuda. I thought it would have been one of those bigger countries, but it's not. Just to give you an example, the U.S. today is number 19 on the list, and Japan is number 22 on the list. So it really gives you an indication that there is a lot more development that's going to be occurring as far as individuals who are able to access the internet. So what does that mean? It means that there are going to be more people for us to be able to communicate globally with via the internet, and we've only just begun. Here's another powerful statistic. There are 31 billion searches on Google every month. 31 billion every month. Now, in 2006, this number was 2.7 billion. 2006. So, in 6 years, you can look at the increase. What will it be in another 6 years? Just imagine. And obviously, if you're looking at positioning yourself via the internet, then there's a great opportunity to be able to do so. And, be in front of the wave, be at the head of the wave rather than at the tail. So let's just check a few more of these stats. The first commercial text message was sent in 1992. First commercial text message was sent in 1992. Today, the number of text messages sent and received every day exceeds the total population of the planet. Exceeds the total population of the planet. Wow. And we've only just scratched the surface. In some countries, you can have unlimited texting. So it's easy for individuals to text anyone in the world. It's not, totally free globally at this point in time, but it's going in that direction. So, the reach is going to be phenomenal in terms of being able to tap into that global economy. Now, this is phenomenal, the years it took to reach a market audience of 50 million. So if you were in some type of business and you wanted to reach an audience of 50 million, how many years would it take you? Well, the radio medium, it took the radio medium 32 years to reach a 50 million people market. TV, it took TV 13 years. The internet, well, the internet changed things drastically, only 4 years. So a difference of nine years. It only took 4 years for the internet. And then we go to the iPod. The iPod took 3 years. And then we have this thing called Facebook that only took 2 years to reach an audience of 50 million people. Phenomenal. The amount of technical information is doubling every 2 years. For students starting a 4-year technical degree, this means that half of what they learn in their first year of study will be outdated by their 3rd year of study. So we're talking technical information. So it just, indicates the advancement of technology, how things are changing very quickly. So, students are going to have to be on top of things on a consistent basis from a technology standpoint just to be able to keep up with the demands of the changing times, etc. So the world we live in today is growing at an exponential rate. Do we as individuals have the ability to do exactly the same? So what does all this mean? What does it mean to you and any of the people who you may come into contact with? Well, what it means for me personally is that if we can take a look at education, we can take a look at the greatest paradigm shift in information technology, and we can identify those trends, then we can definitely turn them into an opportunity. Right? And so is it time to change your channel? Well, like I said, I decided I want to change my channel 7 years ago, leaving a traditional business and wanting to be able to work from home and become a global entrepreneur, because I realized that there was a tremendous opportunity to be able to tap into a global market, not just doing business in my own backyard. Business in your own backyard will never be the same. So the old traditional system was, being a part of a 40-year plan. Now, the 40-year plan usually began at about the age of 25 and obviously went for about 40 years. And then you were able to, retire comfortably. But today, that is not necessarily the case because many, must still work beyond the retirement age. It's amazing when you think about some of the pensions that are out there. People have to, try and live on half of what they couldn't have lived on when they were working full time. So they have to make some major adjustments in their budgets, cutting back on, some of the maybe lifestyle benefits that they might have been able to experience when they were working full time, or they have to still continue to work and continue to work, or look at how they can develop an additional income. And, you as an individual, especially moving forward here in the 21st century, you will probably never be paid what you are really worth unless you're at the top end of the scale. If you're on the top end of the scale, then you're going to warrant being paid absolutely what you're worth. So can we take the 40-year plan with everything that's going on in the world today and turn it into a 5-year plan? Can we maximize our potential? Can we, grow exponentially? Can we develop an income on an exponential basis? And the answer absolutely is yes. But it begins with obviously making a change. It begins with you as an individual deciding that you want to do something different. That's what I did 7 years ago. I didn't necessarily have the answers, but I had the questions. And the answers came to me as a result of doing my research. So the process begins when you decide. And, the beautiful thing is as an entrepreneur, there is no discrimination. It's not based on your age. It's not based on your sex. It's not based on your education. It's not based on the color of your skin. It's based on what you want. Your thoughts will determine what you get. And so if you're in the right mindset, you can begin to plant the seeds and attract what it is that you want in your life. And the income earning potential is not limited. The only things that are limited are the based on the thoughts, based on the limitations that we actually impose upon ourselves. And what you as an individual need to do is change your own personal paradigm. There's a paradigm that's going on right now that we necessarily don't have a whole lot of control over, but the one paradigm that we do have control over is the one that we live in today. The one that we work in today and how we think. And so there's different ways that you as an individual can change your paradigm, and I'm going to touch on some of those things as we get to the point where we're winding down here. But develop a new way of thinking and begin to think about creating leverage in your life. Create leverage in your life. Don't be the issue in your life when it comes to an income. You want to make sure that you're in a position where you can have multiple streams of income, and you can do that. Oh, the reality checklist. All right, make a decision that you want to change. There are individuals who maybe they've been driving, the same car or living in the same home. They haven't been shopping in a while. Maybe they haven't been on a holiday. You have to make the decision that you want to change. Don't think about where you're at. Don't let your present conditions determine what you do. What you need to do is see yourself where you want to be before you actually arrive. Plant the seeds now. Decide that you want to make a change. Everything else will fall into place. It'll be either because you're doing your research, you might meet somebody, you may come into contact with somebody who will give you the direction that you're looking for. Maybe this webinar that you're on here today will inspire you to do something that you've never done before. One of the things that I was able to do, and I highly recommend, is to find yourself a mentor who will coach you, a mentor who will train you, a mentor who will tell you what you need to do, a mentor who will tell you the truth, A mentor will tell you, what your strengths and what your weaknesses are and how you can work on developing your weaknesses and focus on your strengths, which is a very, very important component. It comes down to validation. We all like to be validated. We all like to know that we have something to offer of value, and we all do. That's the amazing thing. We all have a powerful story that we can share. One of the things that I firmly believe in is that if you're looking at, from a business perspective, you're looking for an opportunity, find an e-commerce global business model. Don't limit yourself. Tap into the global economy. There are so many countries now that are coming online. So many individuals who are looking for a business opportunity or a business model of some sort. Whatever product or service you're looking at offering, tap into the global market. Don't limit yourself. Look at the trend. The trend is your friend. Identify it, and then you can move forward. One of the other things that you will want to do here to really take advantage of these trends is to focus on personal development. I believe that, as individuals, we all have the ability to grow. A mentor of mine once shared with me that when you're green, you're growing, and when you're ripe, you rot. When you're green, you're growing. When you're ripe, you're rot. So you always want to be growing. Whether you're reading great articles, motivational articles, listening to CDs or audios, positive information will impact you considerably. And it will also help you to change your paradigm, change the way that you think about certain things. If you've been earning a average income of $50,000 a year, or $40,000, $80,000 a year, and you want to change that paradigm and double your income, then you need to do some things a little bit differently and have a never quit attitude, even when times are tough or you have some obstacles, you have some distractions, because they will always be there. Distractions will always come your way. The closer you get to your goals, you're going to find that you're going to have more challenges. So you need to definitely focus on what you want, see it before it arrives, and have a never quit attitude. One of the things that excites me is finding the reasons to keep you in the game. Find the reasons that will keep you in the game. Find the reasons that will put a smile on your face 7 days a week. What is it that will make you happy? What is it that will make you happy, that you'll want to get up every morning and look forward to your day? It's so important to write down those reasons. If it's for your family, if it's for, spend more time with your friends, to travel, to buy a car, to be able to give to a charitable organization. What is it that will make you happy? You need to write those reasons down, and you need to read them every day. Every day. You see, folks, in the next 5 to 10 years, more and more individuals will become entrepreneurs. The question is, where will you be in the next 5 to 10 years? Where would you like to be in the next 5 to 10 years? Because in all honesty, you determine where you want to be, and it's up to you. The big thinking precedes great achievement. I think it takes just as much energy to think little as it does big. So you might as well think big. At least if you fall short, you've moved ahead. In terms of your goals and your purpose, your direction in life. We're just winding down here, and last but not least, I just want to share with you this great statement by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you have already mastered, you will never grow. I just want to take the time to thank all of those on this webinar here this afternoon. As you know, I've made a special offer of a consultation for half an hour, and those individuals who have qualified for that consultation will receive an email shortly outlining the next steps. One of the things I will be doing is presenting another phenomenal webinar here in the next little while, so please stand by for some new information. And I appreciate the time that you've taken out of your day, your busy day, to be here. And definitely I look forward to talking and communicating with you and answering any of your questions that will help you to move forward with whatever it is that you choose to move forward with in your life. So again, thank you very much. Have a great afternoon. This is Patrick Tulloch, signing off from Toronto, Canada.